Hello everyone, I am Shweta and welcome to my channel Analytics by Shweta. In today's video, we will learn how to use the DatesInPeriod function in Power BI. The DatesInPeriod function has four parameters. First, we need to give it a column of dates. Then we need to give it a start date, which is a date expression. Next, we need to provide it number of intervals. So these are the number of intervals which you will add or subtract from your date expression. And last, you need to provide the interval. The interval can be year, quarter, month, or day. DatesInPeriod will return us a table with a single column. Now, we get a start date and an end date when we are using DatesInPeriod. It is looking at a particular period of dates and the start date is excluded in it. For example, if we are looking at a year back, Jan 2021 will give us 1st Feb 2020 to 31st Jan 2021. If you remember, in DatesBetween, we had a similar case where we were looking at 1 year behind. But in that case, the start date was 31st Jan 2020 to 31st January 2021. But here, the start date is 1st February 2020. 31st Jan 2020 gets excluded from the report. We will get a better understanding once we look at Power BI. Let us first have a look at our data model. Our data model is the same which we have been using in our previous examples. We have 4-dimension tables connected to our fact table, the hires data. The calendar table has a date column and the hires data has a DOJ column, which is the date of joining. Both of these are connected via the date column in a one-to-many relationship. Let us proceed to have a look at the functioning of this DatesInPeriod. If you see, we have a pre-created measure called as total hires, which counts the employee code. Now, as each and every employee has a distinct employee code, we would get a distinct count when we use this function. Now, as DatesInPeriod has a period of dates, let us calculate the start date and the end dates of this period. So let us create a new measure. Let us write DatesInPeriod start date. We would be using DatesInPeriod and we need to give a dates column. So we would be using the calendar date. Next, we need to give a start date. So let us give last date and give the calendar date. Next, we need to specify the number of intervals. We have specified -1 as we want to go back 1 year. And in the interval, let us select year. Now, in DatesInPeriod requires 4 parameters. One is the dates column, which we have given is the calendar date. Next, we need to give it a start date. So we have given last date of the calendar date and then we are going 1 year back. Now, DatesInPeriod will return a table, but we do not want a table. We want the first date. So we would be using the first date function over here and we approve this measure. Now to create the end date, we require the same measure, just a minor tweaks we need to make in it. So we select this and we write end date. And here we would be using the last date. And we approve this measure. Let us create a table visual. Let us add the year. Let us add the month name. Now, as they are returning dates, let us change the format of these dates. Now, in this table visual, we would be adding the start date measure and the end date measure. As in our data set, we have 3 years of data. The first year, we cannot go 1 year back. So we need to look at the second year to get a better of understanding of this function. So let us create a slicer and select here. Let us change the slicer format to a tile. And we would select 2021. Now if you look at 2021 January, it is starting from 1st of February 2020 to 31st of January 2021. So you see, it is not taking it from 31st of January 2020. It is excluding that date. And it is starting from 1st of February 2020. So this is what I mean when I say the start date is excluded. This is different from how DatesBetween function works. If you want to understand that function, please refer the description box for the same. Let us look at another example to understand the same. Let us create a new measure. Let us name it as date in period hires. We would be using the calculate and the total hires. Now we would be using the dates in period. We would be using the calendar date. We would be selecting the max of the calendar date. You can use maximum or you can use last date. We would be using -1 and we would be using here. We close the dates in period and we close the calculate function. Let us go here and add this particular measure. If you see here, from 1st of February 2020 to 31st of January 2029, we have a total of 4965 hires. Let's check it out whether this value is correct. We will go here and create a slicer. In the slicer, we would add the dates. Now, if you see, our dates are 1st of February 2020 to 31st of January 2021. Let's write 1st of February 2020 to 31st of January 2021. So 1st of February 2020 to 31st of January 2021. Let us create a card visual, and here let us add the total hires measure, which is a simple measure to count the head count. So we put it into our measure, and if you see here, we get exactly the same value. That is, it is calculating for this period and returning us the hires for this period. And here we have seen the start date and the end date and the dates between, and how do you get these hires. So we have checked these values which is shown in this visual. We have seen on how the start and end date is calculated in dates in period and how they differ from DatesBetween function. You can use this function to go ahead or back based on the interval which you select. And dates in period is a very powerful function. So dates in period can be used when you know what is your start date and how many intervals back or forward you want to go in time. And the intervals can be year, quarter, month, or day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell for more updates. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.